Hello and welcome to the England B Team podcast, a football podcast brought to you by an Englishman who wasn't good enough to make it as a professional footballer.
And an Irishman who wasn't good enough to play for England.
There we are. My name's Joe and this is my co-host Gareth, and we're back here to talk about all things football.
We are back.
We're back.
What a long time it's been.
It's been a while. I mean, we had the episode out at the beginning of November, but actually...
Someone was out, yeah.
But actually recording...
A wee bit before that,
I think it's been a couple of months.
It has been, yeah. Well, we've been globe-trotting, and then
True.
we've been dealing with our newfound fame on TikTok as well.
True, you know.
So we're kind of a big deal now.
One video on TikTok and the same on Instagram. They both got about 40k views each.
That's mad.
Really good, you know.
Yeah. Do you reckon there's 40k people watching now?
Yeah, of course,
yeah.
of course.
Well, good to see you all.
Yes, it's really good to be back.
It is, yeah. Why don't you tell everybody what we've got planned for today then?
Yeah, I'd say
get into
we're
the deep
back
end.
for, I guess you could call it a special episode, because it's actually our 10th episode.
Yeah.
It took us a while to get here, but I mean, it's because we've had very busy schedule.
Yeah.
But because it's the 10th episode, we wanted to do a few things to keep it interesting. So
10 episodes, man.
we wanted today to get our listeners involved.
Yeah.
We've got some stuff that they're getting involved in. Nothing too groundbreaking, but you know, we'll see as time goes on.
Well, it's still nice to build a community around this podcast as well, which is something that I'm very excited about doing. Now that we've got enough listeners, we can build a community.
Of course, yeah. One day we'll get our Austrian fans on.
But we're still number one in Austria. I haven't checked that in a while. Actually, I haven't checked the numbers in a while. I should have got an update now. I'm actually a full update.
We'll have to get that.
The Spotify Wrap looked okay though.
Yeah,
we got to quite a few countries in the Spotify Wrap, didn't we? Yeah.
Story actually on Instagram.
Yeah, we will get round to that. Yeah.
And on Twitter as well. So yeah, this episode we're getting our fans, listeners, whatever you want to call it, involved. Yeah. So we're diving into a topic. We're not sure on the title yet. One thing that I had in mind was football moments that changed our lives. Yeah. Sounds quite deep.
Well, it is.
Iconic football moments that...
It is deep.
Yeah, I think it's...
And I think it's a very personal touch to bring to the 10th episode as well.
Of course.
I've got a really strong... So genuinely, we don't know what each other's going to say here. No. I don't know what Joe's got planned for his personal moment or what moments he's dug up. And he doesn't know what I've got planned. I have got a really strong feeling we have very different ideas in mind what the task was here.
But it's okay. Look, we're here, like... I think it's one of the best things about our podcast is that we're really good friends. We support the same teams. We love football. But we come from things a lot of the time at a different angle.
Yeah, that's... I think it's a very positive way of looking at it.
Like, you've probably seen through the episodes, Gareth is really good at the anecdotes, these, like, fun facts, whereas I'm maybe more boring history football facts. But the combination...
Joe actually knows about football.
Yeah. No, we both do. But it's a combination of the two. I think that's what made our video popular. That was TikTok and Instagram one.
Oh, it did get popular, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about the controversy surrounding certainly.
No, of course.
But I will say, you can tell that on the social media accounts, Joe runs them because I'm not allowed to run them. Because
it's true.
Man, if any of you guys are watching from that video that Badmouth Bayer Leverkusen, if I had control of that TikTok
hold him back.
I would have had us cancelled.
That's why
dying to get into them.
You only see the professionalism from me on the on the social media.
Yeah, you only get my
every
side.
Every now and then I give Gareth the password, and then straight away I change the password.
I only get to have my opinions when we're like 11 minutes deep into an episode and someone has to find it.
He has the parental control, level 9 or whatever it is.
Actually, genuinely do.
But anyway, like before we start diving into this episode, I think we should probably say thanks for the support this year.
Hugely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean we've been going for
not even half a year.
Yeah, I think a bit less than half the year. I think 5 months ago our first episode came out.
Yeah.
And you know, I think we've seen some pretty steady growth. We've recently got over 800 followers on Instagram, which is pretty nice.
That's huge.
TikTok's got over 650.
Well, isn't it? Yeah.
I think got about nearly 50 subscribers.
Yeah, some of the YouTube podcast videos have got over a couple of hundred views each, which obviously, well, not obviously, but YouTube is famously the least popular format for podcasts. Yeah. So when we get good numbers on YouTube, I'm very happy.
Yes, of course. But we like the video, you know, because we can create clips from that, and I think it's also interesting for the fans to see our beautiful faces.
I'd say we're hot as well.
Of
so,
course,
yeah.
of course.
It's a bit of eye candy.
So
yeah, well, thank you guys for anyone who has genuinely listened. It means the world, especially anyone who's actually listened to an entire episode.
Yes.
Still can't believe people have actually done that. So it is incredibly appreciated.
So this 10th episode is for you.
Yeah.
And we've got you involved. A few of you have got involved. A few people from my side. A few people from Gareth's side.
Yeah.
So like I said, should we dive in?
Yeah, best. So
football moments.
Right, before we start then, can I ask you what you understood from the task?
So
what did you think the homework was?
It was thinking of one of the most iconic football moments in my life.
For you personally, or iconic and it affected you, or both?
For me, for mine, it's probably a bit of both.
Okay.
But I've just talking about that moment, what I remember from that moment. Of course, the actual occasion of that football match.
Mm-hmm.
But also where I was, what was happening at the time, how it impacted people around me.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll start with mine.
And
before you do yours, you can kind of explain what you understood from the task.
Yeah, we can pause this and I can go and do my homework then again.
No, it's
right,
fine.
go. Hit us
It's
up with
fine.
your moment. What is the most...
All right.
What's the name of what's the name of this episode? Where are we going with the most important football moment?
Football moments that changed our lives.
Yeah.
Let's keep it deep. You know?
So which football moment has changed your lives the most?
So, mine's probably a very popular choice for Chelsea fans, let's say. Can you guess what it is?
2002 FA Cup final, Ray Parler.
Of course, you know, I remember that when I was 6 years old. A horrible moment. Changed my life, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Never been the same man since.
But we're being serious now.
I think I know what you're going to pick.
Of course.
There's one of two, isn't there?
It's the first Champions League title.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I think for most Chelsea fans, young or old, it was a crazy to win the Champions League. I think for me personally, I don't know if it's because I like the European side, but for me, win the Champions League is the best of them all.
I think so too as well, yeah. Like, Champions League special.
Yeah, there's something about it, especially
the Champions League is special. Yeah.
The final at night, you know, and for me it was definitely this moment.
What age were you when the 2012 Champions League final? You 20? No, you were about 16, weren't you?
16, yeah.
Oh.
Just turned 16. I'll dive into that a bit about me at that time.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Yeah,
but of course, the occasion itself, we were the underdogs. We were coming off the back of a pretty poor season. We finished 6th in the league.
Yeah,
and we were facing, the best team in Europe in their own stadium, in their own country. And the game, I don't think the game itself was that exciting. It was pretty much just attack, Bayern Munich attack, Bayern Munich attack, Bayern Munich attack. A few moments.
That's all I remember.
A few moments for Chelsea. A little bit of luck, we can say. A little bit of luck.
Ooh.
And then just Drogba being iconic. Yeah. Drogba being Drogba. And so from that moment, I remember the whole run itself really well. Like I remember the games against like Benfica, of course.
Napoli
the game
man.
Napoli, I can mention that one. But yeah, the game against Barcelona, which I'll touch on a little bit as well. But yeah, so I was 16. It was around my last weeks of school before study leave, before starting our GCSEs. Yeah. That's what we have in the UK. So it's your exams when you turn 16, or in your 11th year of school. Let's call it that. It's easier. So the final itself was the day after our last day of school party.
What a day.
Of course, we were not drinking that party. We were 16.
Yeah, we God, perish the thought.
Stone cold sober.
Didn't touch a drop until I was 18.
Day. But let's just say the next day after this party, of course, we were super hungover. I think
not hungover. You had too much sugar, too many sweeties.
Of course, too much Coca-Cola and Fanta and everything. And we slept in a forest as well after the party.
Freezing cold.
Yeah.
Too much energy. Really, too much excitement.
It was a party and a camp out. But yeah, I remember the day really well. I was watching the game, sugar hungover, at my friend's house with a couple of other Chelsea fans.
You have Chelsea fans as friends?
Yeah.
Man, that's the benefit of growing up in London. I had no Chelsea mates.
Just outside London, but most were Arsenal or United actually. Okay. But then a good few.
So you could go to a house with other Chelsea fans? Was it only Chelsea fans? There was no one there?
No, there was a few others. Okay. Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 of us.
Okay. So you go to this person's house. What time are you heading at? What's the plan? How he's all feeling? Are you excited? Are you up for it? Man, the day of the Champions League final.
I can't remember too much. Obviously, I was 16, so my mum drove me to the house. But one thing I really remember from the game was on 3 of the penalties that Bayern Munich took, I knocked on the TV and they missed 2 of them.
Good one to do.
They missed 2 of them. So
have you kept that superstition since?
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. It was just in that. It was just in that one moment. So for me, that was a really iconic moment as well. I just want to touch on as well. Of course, there was the Chelsea-Barcelona game, the Torres goal.
Gary Neville.
I remember watching that game, and I think once, who scored the second goal? Iniesta scored the second goal. I think I was crying. I was like, man, like this can't be over. Like we did so well in the first leg, and of course John Terry got his red card. And then I really remember
Ramirez as well.
Ramirez's goal was unbelievable. But I remember when Torres scored his goal, I remember running outside, running down the street, like screaming, celebrating.
Was that the sugar again?
Of course, on the sugar, yeah. It was a really big sugar day for our family. But yeah, that's of course something as well. But I think the most important moment for me within this whole whole game, this whole season was the fact that my granddad, when he was 75, was in Munich.
Which is incredible.
In the stadium. He supported Chelsea since he was a kid. His dad, so my great granddad, also supported Chelsea. He was born in 1912. My great granddad. So So he was Chelsea. My granddad was Chelsea. My mum's Chelsea.
Man, he's going back far enough that he nearly saw Chelsea getting founded.
Yeah.
Chelsea only founded in 1905.
I don't know about my great granddad.
Yeah, but still, that's what I mean. Yeah, you're great. Yeah. Your family go back pretty much to the origins of Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's class. Of course.
And this was his jacket. I don't know if he wore it. That's why I'm wearing a jacket inside, just to let you know. But I don't.
It also is freezing, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. Germany is cold at the moment. I don't know if he wore it.
Okay.
For that
to
game.
That final. Okay.
He could have done.
There must be a picture knocking.
Yeah, I mean, the game would have ended around 11ish. It was May in Germany. It doesn't always be super hot. But of course, that was a dream for him. He was watching his boyhood club win the Champions League final.
Yeah,
I say watching it. He actually turned around for the whole penalty shootout.
Oh, really? He's one of those ones.
He couldn't watch it. Bless him.
I don't think he's the only one though, does he? I don't think he'd be the only one.
No, I don't. I know.
If you ever see the videos of it, you can see a lot of the Chelsea fans turn their back. I couldn't watch them either, to be fair.
Yeah, I would have loved to have been there with him, but I remember him telling me and my brother. It was just. I don't think he could even describe it because it was just so crazy.
It's incredible.
It was just like a once in a lifetime thing.
That's it.
Until the year later, he went to the Europa League final in Amsterdam as well.
Yeah. Which was also a great final. Yeah.
Yes, and so unfortunately he passed in 2021, but he was also there to watch the Champions League final 2021, not in the stadium, but he watched it with my brother.
Yeah,
so he got to witness 2 Champions Leagues in his lifetime, which I think something he probably could never imagine, especially because Chelsea had some
absolutely not.
Chelsea haven't been that successful as well.
Did he ever say what his favourite Chelsea moment was before the Champions League final or before the Abramovich era? Did he ever have a highlight?
Mentioned the 1955 league-winning title.
Wow.
Yeah, his favourite player was Roy Bentley growing up.
Well,
so he was pretty iconic. So I think my granddad would have been about 18, 19 then. He was born in 37. We won it in 55. And
he was going to games and all back then as well.
Yeah, he used to go with his
fair
dad
play
quite a lot. He said as well he'd go in the away ends at other London teams sometimes and have to keep super quiet because especially 60s 70s football hooliganism was
but he's seen it all with Chelsea as well.
I
suppose you see 55 and then there was a lot of the 60s was not a great time for Chelsea. 70s had a wee bit of magic coming
80s
back.
80s is also I think in the second division
and then 90s was the magic back, so it's basically 10 years on 10 years off, isn't it?
And this is the thing I think when people call I know Chelsea a plastic club, and I'm kind of going off track here, but again, it's something significant to me that people call Chelsea a plastic club, but the people who support the club, they don't control who buys the club, they don't control where the money comes from.
Exactly.
So
I dare them to come call Chelsea a plastic club to my face. I get the password for the Twitter account, and then I'm after you all.
Yeah, we had a few. Actually, a lot of people saying Bayer Leverkusen they're a plastic club, but we can do an episode.
I know. Well, I got their addresses as well.
Our favourite plastic clubs.
Man, there's nothing plastic about them. I will fight people.
Passion.
Anyway, sorry. Let's go back to turn this ship around.
I mean, that's kind of me done. So it's a really iconic moment. Of course, watching the game with my friends, but also knowing that my granddad was there.
Did you phone your granddad at the final?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
Or the day after? When did you see him since it? I suppose you wouldn't have phoned in 2012 because it would have been the kind of thing where you wouldn't have got any signal on your phone.
Yeah.
You know the way New Year's Eve is the same thing back then.
I think he texted my mum, but it was a long time ago now. But I remember him saying he loved Germany. He loved being with the German people. Of course, the German beer. Apparently all the Germans were super gracious afterwards as well. They're having drinks together.
They usually are, to be fair. I think we've seen that as well.
So that's
a great one.
My iconic moment.
It's nice that you can tie up an iconic moment with a personal touch to it as well. Because that's something I want to talk about as well. Is like why these moments are so iconic to us.
Yeah, I think that's a really good.
There's a lot of different reasons why we love football and why we get so attached to these things. Personal part is definitely one of them.
Yeah,
if not the most. Like I don't know about you, but the stories I got from friends, a lot of them are incredibly. They have that personal touch. And more often than not, they are personal things. Yeah. Without that personal attachment, I don't think they'd be as good.
No,
I did not understand the assignment on this one. No, it's fine. It's fine.
But speaking of the people who sent stuff in,
right? Well, you've got some, haven't you?
Should we dive into them?
Yeah, go. So
I think so, and then you can dive into yours. So
go ahead.
Yeah, we have 3 each, I think. So we'll try and skip through these. We can make a few comments, keep it. Yeah, not go on too much. But yeah, I'll start with one really quickly. So this is sent in by my friend Tyler, who's a Liverpool fan. And I think, being a Liverpool fan, you might assume he chose the Istanbul one. But he chose a different moment. He got the Liverpool versus Barcelona comeback in 2019. So I'm going to read his words. I think I did a mixture of third person and first person for this one, but it's okay. So Liverpool were 3-0 down and everyone had written them off with little chance of getting back into the game, especially against the best team in the world at the time with the best player of all time. Messi, obviously, it's not Ronaldo. He mentions that in the back of his mind he had a feeling, maybe because of Istanbul 2005, but this is a feeling he shared with many Liverpool fans that they could get back into the game. He was also frustrated by Suarez celebrating his goal in the first leg, a bit of added spice to the occasion. So he said he's watching the game at a house party at university, watching the first half on his phone. When Liverpool were 1-0 up, he said to his friend, like, we need to get to a pub ASAP. There's something happening here. Yeah. So he said, he walked past a few bars, but all were pretty packed. He was in university in I can't remember where he was, but it wasn't Liverpool, but still, like, everywhere. Yeah. He watched outside for 5 minutes, and the second goal went in, and they kept walking. They managed to find a pub, and by this time it was 3-3. And they finished the game there, and of course after that,
so they did find a pub.
The rest is history. 3-3, and of course he saw that last goal from, was it Origi? I think. Alexander Arnold. Yeah. Arnold corner.
Cheeky rat. Yeah. Yeah. Man, that was a great find. I can feel the anxiety of that as well. Walking down the street, knowing that something big is about to happen, you can't get a pub. Yeah. Really. Man, that breaks my heart. Yeah. I remember watching that match. I watched that match in Cologne, actually. Yeah. I played 5-a-side for the first time. I just moved to Cologne. I injured my knee and couldn't walk. And I had to get friends to carry me out of Joe Champ's American bar as I was watching the game. Yeah. Wow. It's a much less romantic moment than he had. That's a good one to pick.
All right. So which one have you got then?
Well, yeah. I haven't went as in detail on you, but I just texted a couple of my mates. So I have a group with my friends Luca and Rodrigo, so I'll go with Luca first because he was the first to reply. Okay. You've met Luca, haven't you? Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Well, we were at the Roma game as well together.
The Leverkusen Roma game.
Well, that kind of ties into it a little bit as well because, so Luca, his favourite thing was just generally the 2006 World Cup because his dad was Italian. Okay. So his dad was Italian. They'd moved to America. Then they lived in Paris. That's where I met him. Okay. And it was one of the very few ways I could do it. I think Luca, by his own admission, wouldn't be a huge football fan, but he is when Italy are playing. Because it was one of the few things him and his dad could watch together. And the particular moment he picked out, which I'm surprised at, because I would have thought it'd be winning the World Cup in 2006. Yeah. But he said it was actually the 2006 semi-final, wasn't it? Yeah, so one moment in particular emerges when Italy faced the host Germany in a tense match for the semi-finals. Deep in extra time, Fabio Grosso scored a curled wonder ball into the net, which I actually remember Pirlo assisted.
I remember that goal really well. Like, I think Grosso was celebrating, crying, and
it was incredible.
Touchline.
Oh man, and that World Cup had some great goals as well. Did Fabio Grosso not score another screamer in the first game? Or am I making that up?
I can't remember. I remember Torsten Frings scored a screamer for Germany.
That's right. Philip Lahm banged in one as well.
Yeah,
he
did.
Yeah, that was with that weird ball as well.
Yeah, I'm very jealous of the people who can send in their best national team moments because as England fans, we definitely can't do that.
I have some good moments with England, but they're not positive, but they're good stories. But yeah, so Luca gave me that story. And then I suppose he wouldn't mind me saying, like, I've asked everyone if they're okay with being named on this podcast as well. And they are. No, they're not, but they're getting it out now. But Luca was the same then when he got to come over to watch Roma live last year as well. That was his dad's team as well. His dad passed away a couple of years ago. So Luca gets to go to the odd game here and there. And it's nice to know you still have that connection with someone who's gone just purely through football. Of course, purely through football. So I think that's a really good one. I'm surprised he didn't pick the final, but there you go. It shows how much more important it was. It doesn't really matter about the occasion. It's about the personal attachment.
Exactly, what we really remember from that moment. But yeah, that's a really nice touch. Nice.
So let's get your next one then.
That's a really good one.
that was a good one.
My next one is sent in from my friend Kieran. I think you know him.
I do. Yeah.
You know what team he supports?
Do I can't remember.
It's Leicester City.
Oh, the poor guy. Well, I wonder what he's picked.
Yeah. The 2006 Leicester miracle season.
2016.
2016, apologies.
2006, we won the league.
You got your back here.
Wasn't much of a miracle back then. They got relegated.
No, true. But they had the Walker sponsor, so pretty iconic.
Oh yeah, Muzzy has played as well. But anyway,
let's not derail. So he said, one of the most unbelievable moments of my life. I was in a bar called Roundabout in Plymouth with a few lads watching Chelsea versus Spurs wearing my Leicester shirt. So for a few context, I was also there.
You were at that?
Yeah,
with him?
We went to university in Plymouth. I remember being in the bar and the following events, which I'll touch on, but I don't remember the game too well. I was also there because it's a university town. But let's go back to Kieran now. So he said, watching that curling goal from Hazard was unreal. And he said, I knew it was the goal to seal the deal and complete the impossible. We went out that night in Plymouth and spotted a surprising amount of Leicester fans, all with their shirts on around the cities and clubs bars. Of course, they were all drinking the blue WKDs for Jamie Vardy. And said, to add to this moment, even to this day, Leicester went from an unknown town to worldwide popularity, and it's been so nice to see the growth of the city and having people know us worldwide. Since then, the city has been on an upwards trajectory since a 5,000 to 1 win.
5,000 to 1.
5,000 to 1 win.
So if you put a quid on Leicester,
you would have got £5
grand, man.
I think the odds are much shorter these days.
See, that one in particular, because you would never assume that would happen. Being Chelsea fans, okay, when the money came in, you could have seen success. I think it was more surprised the money came in, but that is a genuine miracle.
That is crazy. But I really remember that moment really well.
That's even being
I don't actually remember Hazard's goal going in, but I can imagine
that was the battle of the bridge, though, wasn't it? That game, that was all the red cards, and it was like 4-4 something to finish.
I don't think there was any red cards, was the crazy thing.
Oh, was there?
But there should have been about 6. No, it was 2-2.
Do you think it takes the edge off a little bit when you win a trophy because of another result and it's not in your own hands, or you think you just don't give a shit at that point?
I think maybe it could. I think for Leicester, no,
you wouldn't care when you at that point. You're just like, we'll take it.
And at the end of the day, it was a pretty iconic goal.
Yeah. Well, it was for
Yeah,
because it basically stopped Spurs from winning it as well for us. So that
exactly true. So it was double meaningful. That was Kieran's again, a really
an actual
iconic
Leicester
moment.
fan.
And I think that's generally say it's a football moment that changed their lives.
Yeah, I think that.
This was really.
I don't even know any Leicester fans. I can't even imagine how that felt.
There's a couple of us.
The Leicester one's unbelievable.
One of our other friends as well. He was also a Leicester fan, so we were watching it. But
I can't even imagine what that would feel. Well, I can. We'll see what happens at the end of this year when Liverpool goes and win a trophy.
True.
But
let's see.
That's the only comparable one I have. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay.
All right. What have you got?
I'm back to my group. I went to Rodrigo. Which
okay.
I should have typed this out because I've screenshotted these and there's bits where I have to censor what I'm about to say. Rodrigo knows that he's done that on purpose. So I'm going to be very careful what I say here. Right. So he has 2. Now, first of all, I should give background on Rodrigo because that's what makes the story. Have you met Rodrigo?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Rodrigo's a very odd fella. Okay, you won't mind me saying that. So his name is Rodrigo. And he's going to be talking about a Rangers match and a Northern Ireland match. And you think, how many lads are there in Northern Ireland who are called Rodrigo? None. Rodrigo is born and bred in Buenos Aires. Never lived in Northern Ireland. Just moved. He's lived all over the world. He left Argentina when he was 18. Loves football. He's a Boke fan back home. He's moved around. And for some reason, he just settled on Rangers and Northern Ireland. And that's his teams. Now, when I say he supports Rangers, he follows them across Europe, everywhere. He speaks English with a perfect Northern Irish accent. He speaks 17 languages.
17.
Yeah, perfectly. But for some reason, out of all these possible cultures, languages, and football teams, he's went to Northern Ireland and Rangers. Which honestly, even I don't want to support Northern Ireland, but I have to.
Culture.
So if I could choose, I'd much rather be Argentinian than support Northern Ireland, but I'm stuck with it.
Did he celebrate the Argentinian win?
Oh, he doesn't like the Argentina football team?
No. Okay.
No. I think it's something to do with, a lot of the Argentinian team, a lot of them come from the north of Argentina, which there's a bit of a divide there.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend to know anything about Argentinian politics.
Let's not go Argentinian politics.
I'm on Rodrigo's side.
But tell us about his moment.
So his moment, he has 2, which, he couldn't decide on them. His first one was Rangers, when it was John Lundstrom scored the 3rd goal against Leipzig in the Europa League semi-final at home. Now, he didn't give the year, but what is that? That's the year before last. Because they got to the final and then they lost the final to Frankfurt. that year. So third goal, they had scored not that long ago. So Leipzig had scored not that long ago. They were looking quick and full of energy. They looked knackered. Poor cross basically goes towards the Leipzig keeper, falls to Lundstrom. He slams it down the middle. Keeper was beaten. He got lifted in the air by a person from Glasgow. I'll say, I'm going to leave that next word out.
Okay.
And he said he admits that he had a little tear in his eye. And he said it was the happiest moment of his life. But he did say for Northern Ireland, we went together. Actually, the three of us went together to Northern Ireland against the Netherlands in a qualifier a couple of years ago.
I was going to say Northern Ireland, Kazakhstan.
Oh, no, I did go to Northern Ireland, Kazakhstan. That was not my football. It might have changed my life because watching your team get beat 1-0 home to Kazakhstan does put a bit of perspective on things. No, we went, me, Rodrigo and Luca went to Feyenoord Stadium for Northern Ireland against Holland, European qualifier. If we had won that game, we would have had a genuine chance of qualifying. I think it was a World Cup qualifier. It was either one.
Okay.
It was really looking good for us that year. So this was post Euro 2016 when we still got the high from qualifying for the competition. Yep. We went there. There was a screw up with the tickets. So basically, all the Northern Ireland fans got put around the stadium by accident. Okay. Then the IFA contacted everybody because the Dutch had realised they'd made a mistake because they looked on everyone's tickets and saw the addresses as Northern Ireland addresses. So they contacted everyone to replace the tickets, but who did they forget? Us three, because we all had Paris addresses. So they thought we were actually Dutch fans. So we were stuck in the Dutch end. Like the only three fans.
Sat together?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we didn't sit down then. We had to stand up because we were too afraid to go and sit down because they were looking quite angry at us. So we stood right at the barrier because we were too afraid to sit down. The Northern Ireland got beat 3-1.
Okay.
But for about 5 minutes, we were 1-0 up. George McGuinness scored. Best 5 minutes of my life.
Do you celebrate?
And Rodrigo, oh man, I remember I lost my burger. I got a brand new burger just for it, and you had to have these tokens, and then I threw my burger in the air, and I was raging, and I actually picked it up to go eat it again, but it was covered in beer. Okay. It was a very nice burger. I got one bite out of it. So that was one of the best moments, and Rodrigo put that one in as well. We had a great time with that. We talked, because I brought up this conversation with the lads the other day, we got into a whole conversation about where we went after that and the night out we had. We met some Feyenoord fans and we were going out with them. And
I feel like the part after the game is always
the best.
The memory as well.
Always, man. Like, yeah, the game itself is great, but yeah, that was cool. So that's Rodrigo's 2 ones, which again, just because I needed to get round to mentioning Rodrigo. He wanted me to try and say his second name, which he's been one of my best friends for the last 8 years, and I still can't say his surname. But I think it's Liforena.
Okay.
So anyway, I just had to find a way to talk about a Buenos Aires born Argentinian.
We have to get him on the pod one day. It'll be difficult.
You have to censor a lot of, like 50% of what
that's
he
your
says.
job, so
yeah. Rodrigo's not coming on this podcast. Nah, we'll see. We're feeling nice. But that's it.
All right.
That's all I've got.
Nice.
For those two.
All right. So yeah, I've got one more. And the last one's quite unique actually. So it's from my friend Tiago, who is Portuguese and a Porto fan, who's had, let's say, probably a lot of football success being a Portuguese fan and a Porto fan.
Certainly so recently, yeah.
Yeah, they won the Euro 2016. Porto won the Champions League in 2004. Yeah. UEFA Cup in 2003.
Yeah.
So he did send me in a few, but I've chosen one. And the one I've chosen was his first time playing in a big stadium.
Oh.
So it was sometime around 2005, 2006. I played for the first time in a big stadium in front of a lot of people. I was playing for one of Porto's satellite teams. Wow. I think it means like a youth team or a feeder team or something.
Exactly, yeah.
And we played a friendly game against a second division team. I was just 16 and everyone was older than me. I was in the starting lineup, number 10. Number 10 is a good number.
That is a good number,
really good number. I remember entering the stadium from the changing rooms and I was just in utter shock. The atmosphere, although not the same as the first division game, was still super intense. It was loud, really loud. For a moment, I was just in a trance. Then, when the whistle went, my legs were shaking. It took me a good 5 minutes to settle. But then once I did, I could really start playing, and it was one of the best experiences of my life.
That's a great one, because we haven't had anyone talk about playing football.
He was, I've played with him a few times. He's still really good, but he's...
So you played to
injuries.
Okay. Yeah, but you played to at least a semi-professional, professional.
Yeah. So I think I can't remember when he stopped, but yeah, he was playing for Porto at least in the youth academies, and then
that's great.
Yeah, so really, really cool moment.
That's a good one. Oh man, I never even thought of trying to find someone who played football.
Yeah, I can't think of too many actually.
I don't think I have many friends that play professional football, to be honest.
But
I had a conversation recently when I was back home with a friend because I was watching the Arctic Monkeys and I met him in a pub in Belfast.
Okay.
And I was saying about how he played football for a while and his team, Balmacash Rangers, are now up to the 3rd division in Northern Ireland, which is a big step up for them.
Yeah, not bad.
And he was like, yeah, mate, I know. They started paying me at the end. I went, really? They're paying me? I went, yeah, 15 quid a game.
1.5?
15,
Okay.
in a wee brown envelope to pass it around to the players afterwards, and he felt like a millionaire, man. And I love that.
I mean, it's quite cool though.
It is getting paid
really
to play
cool.
football, even if it's 15 quid. I'd be delighted.
But do they get petrol paid as well, or they go like a team
I think
bus?
I'd just about cover the petrol, to be honest. Yeah, I've got a few dodgy stories about Northern Irish football, but we'll save that for another episode.
That's another topic. But yeah, do you have any more, or do you want to go into your moment?
Yeah, well, I only have quickly just Oisín's moment to share, which I just thought about when I was talking to him earlier. Oisín lived in Dortmund, and he must have lived there about the same time you did.
Okay,
It was about 2016, 2017 he was
nice.
knocking about there. But he was basically saying the story of how, obviously, getting a Dortmund ticket, you wouldn't get one for love nor money. Not that I've had any interest in going to watch Dortmund, but anyway, he
I went
wanted
to
to go.
one game and it was really difficult to get a ticket.
Yeah, it's apparently impossible.
Yeah, it's just a cup game.
Yeah, even
It's still
cup games,
sold out 80,000 people.
It's the waiting list now are crazy. It's
Yeah.
he got a ticket to Dortmund Schalke, the big derby,
Yeah.
and he got it purely because he lived in the area, and he was telling me he went down to the stadium just to soak in the atmosphere, and some lad came up to him and went, "Do you want to buy a ticket for 120 quid?" And Oisín was like, "This is definitely a scam, but I don't care. It's going to cost me 120 quid to find out if this is a scam or not." So he ran to an ATM, took out 120 quid, went straight to the guy, gave him it, got into the stadium.
Damn.
And that was it. And he got to see Dortmund Schalke live. And then another time he went to see Schalke at Gelsenkirchen on his own, and two lads just found him, and they were out speaking German to him, and they could hear from his accent he wasn't German. And then, right, that's it. Have you ever been to Gelsenkirchen before? No. And they took him on an entire city tour, took him to the game, told him the whole history of the club, and then that's it, just walked off into the night. Never saw him again. Never took any contact details, just disappeared.
Wow.
And I thought, now that's very football as well.
That's really cool,
Because
though.
you wouldn't do that anywhere else. We just go, no, we're just going to bond instantly over this thing. We're automatically going to assume we're on the same page with everything. We're going to be best mates. And then away you go. You wouldn't do that with any other walk in life. Maybe,
No.
I think the only comparison might be live music. Maybe with live music, you might bond if someone was going to the same gig as you.
But I think that's quite unique of football, because obviously football fans can sometimes go a different direction. But I think less so in Germany, maybe. German fans are usually typically quite open.
They are quite well behaved, I
Yeah.
think, it depends on the team, certainly.
Yeah.
But
As long as you show respect.
yeah, you speak a
Yeah.
bit of German, and so
Nice.
I think that was a nice moment. So
That's really cool.
yeah, should we get round to my moment then?
Yeah, let's see.
Round it up.
Let's see. Just
Right,
don't
okay.
even explain
I'm
the
not
direct-
gonna- okay.
Don't explain the direction you're going. Just tell us yours. And
Okay, well, I was picking between two. I was picking between a couple, but I'm going to go with the 2012 Champions League final as well.
Okay.
Couple of reasons. Obviously, I'm not going to the football background. We don't need to go into that. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
But I was living in Cardiff at the time, and I just moved to Cardiff, I think. Yeah, I was only 19 at that time of the final, so I just moved there more or less. I didn't really have any mates or anything, and I was skint. I was a student, and I decided I need to go to London to watch this. I can't get to Munich, can't get a ticket, but I'll go to London. I'll find a pub somewhere around the Chelsea area, because I have no Chelsea mates. Growing up in Northern Ireland, you have no Chelsea mates. So I thought, I'm not watching this on my own, so I went down to London. Ulster were playing in the European Cup final in rugby that day. So I thought I'll drag a few mates who don't even like football to a bar down Fulham Broadway. You had to go in 9 hours before to even get a standing spot in this bar.
Standing spot?
Yeah, to get a standing spot. The place was packed.
So stand for 9 hours?
Yeah, 9 hours straight. Yeah, with one rugby game, and then we sent someone out for a couple of donuts, a couple of jam donuts halfway through. That's not a euphemism, by the way. That's what we actually did. And then they came back in, watched the game. The whole game's a little bit blurry, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
bit blurry.
understandable.
I remember the goal, I remember the penalty, and I've watched videos back of it since. But I remember as the winning penalty went in, I couldn't watch it, obviously. So I turned my back away, and as I went in, this huge big lad grabbed me and just like threw me up in the air and gave me a big squeeze. And I was a big boy back then. As a bigger boy, it wasn't easy to lift me, put it that way. And I remember going, oh man, this is it. I'm not feeling good. And I remember because at the time I was maybe having the odd little cigarette, and they were telling me the smoking area was out the back. You couldn't go out the front door. If you went out the front door, that's it. You're not getting back in.
Oh, really?
But the front door was handiest to me, and I was like, man, I cannot throw up in front of 300 wild Chelsea fans. So I ran out. I swear this is a true story. I ran out to the street, and then as I was running out, the BBC were there, or it was either the BBC or Sky. It was one of them, because it was obviously night. The camera was there, and there was an interviewer, and they asked me as I ran out of the bar, like, "Oh, what do you think of the match?" Blah blah blah, and I threw up on live television. I have not found the video yet.
No.
I have looked, man. The amount of times I go into Google and search Chelsea fan gets too excited, Chelsea fan has too much to drink, Chelsea fan celebrates too. I can't find it. But I remember throwing up.
It was live TV.
It was, yeah, because then she was trying to like cut it and stuff, and I remember throwing up and just giving them the peace sign and going Chelsea, and that was it. I was wearing the long sleeve version
Have you
with the
never
top
told
as
me
well.
this?
I never told you that story.
No.
Man, that was
I'm glad you saved it for the podcast.
one of my
That's really good.
best stories. Yeah. And then after that, I tried to get back into the bar. Obviously, they're like, mate, you've just thrown up on live TV in front of the bouncer. You're obviously not getting back into the bar. I was like, man, I don't care. I don't care. Chelsea won the Champions League. I don't know how they did it. We're going out partying. And then I think I actually had my phone stolen that night as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a
it was a very
occasional
night. Yeah, it was a very occasional night. Or, a very special night.
Yeah.
So I think I had my phone stolen. I stayed at a friend's house. God bless him, Richard. He's not listening to this because he is not a football fan in the slightest. He's a musician, classical musician. He's the only guy I knew in London at the time.
Okay.
He stood for 9 hours by my side. Bless him. Hates football. Hates rugby.
Wow.
9 hours, and he watched me throw up. And he watched me make a disgrace of myself.
Nice.
And he listened to me the whole way on the bus home. Actually, I remember on the bus home as well. Last bit of the story. Remember on the bus home, I got a kebab with chili and garlic sauce on it because you couldn't get that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because my stomach was empty, man. I needed to replenish.
Sure.
And you couldn't get that in Northern Ireland at the time. Chili and garlic sauce is a very English thing. And then as I was walking down, I dropped it in someone on the night bus going to Lambeth. And I thought I was going to get shanked, but I wasn't. I was fine. He just looked at me as with a bit of pity because it was still in the wrapper, so it didn't fall out.
Okay.
Just a wee bit of sauce came out. I was like, mate, I think he looked at me and went, okay,
this guy's out.
Yeah, leave him alone. I'm so sorry. Drug. And then we went home. I slept. I was intending to go to the victory parade the next day, but couldn't walk. Couldn't wake up. So that, I didn't have the personal touch.
No,
but I did. Saying that, I do remember ringing everybody or trying to ring. I got through to my dad, I remember.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get through to anyone else. It was like New Year's Eve. And I had the same experience for the 2021 Champions League final when we won. I think I rang you as well.
Yes.
I rang everybody I knew.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
It was the only time I would do that. But I love... Yeah, if you're going to be apart from the other fans,
with people,
you have to share it in some kind of way.
I think as well, the Champions League final 2021, there was curfew in Germany as well.
Yeah,
so you couldn't even go out and celebrate.
Where did you watch it?
I was at home with Christina.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but nice.
Yeah, the 2021 one actually. I went to Paris for that same idea. I was like, I'm not watching this on my own.
Yeah,
went to Paris. It was locked down. We had a party. Yeah.
But this is one thing we need to ask now from our fans.
Yeah.
If anyone finds this video of Gareth,
oh my god, please! Genuinely, I would be so happy if you did.
We'll come up with
it definitely went live. And they cut it off at some point because I saw the woman giving it that, and everyone was cheering, and everyone.
Did they say anything to you afterwards?
No, because I just may have. I can't remember.
No,
I remember the I remember how bright the light was, and I remember she had blonde hair. The woman doing the interview, and it was outside the. You'll know the bar, so if you're walking, come out of Fulham Broadway Station, you turn right. You go left at the Stamford Bridge, you go right out there, and there's a bar on the right, a huge. It used to be called the Broadway Bar, I think it's changed now.
I have no idea.
Huge big pub anyway.
Is it past the shopping centre?
Yeah, it's past shopping centre. Oh man, it used to be an Irish pub, it wasn't at that time either. But anyway, it was in that pub. Okay. It's one of the pubs, if you Google reaction to Drogba penalty in London, it's one of those pubs. Which I can't find myself in either, which I'm starting to wonder, was I even there at all? But there's no video footage of me being there.
It was just a dream.
If anyone does find that, then please send it across.
Please.
If not, I promise, if Leverkusen win the Bundesliga this year, I will throw up on live television for you all.
Sounds good.
There we are.
There we go. That's commitment to the Leverkusen win. But yeah, nice. That was a really, really cool moment. I think as well, all the moments that everyone shared as well, also super interesting, super special. And
have you thought of a way to kind of tie this together? Is there a lesson to be learned from all this?
Football is just amazing.
That's it. There we are.
There we go.
It's got everything for you.
Not every episode needs to have a meaningful ending.
True.
Know, this is just a nice. It's like I said, it's our 10th episode. You can almost call it the end of a season. We've got to 10 episode. We're going to come back fresh in 2024. We have lots of new exciting ideas for podcasts, content. Going to Leverkusen games, we've got the match day videos out.
Business end of the season now as well.
Of course, and of course after that in the summer we've got the Euros in Germany.
England are playing here as well.
Which I think we need to. Hey, so if anyone wants to, get some English people living in Cologne doing football content, any sort of sponsors want to get our opinions or let us into the stadium.
Friend from the BBC's watching.
Yeah, true.
I can talk about that actually. Say I did do an interview for BBC Sport. Your boy did an interview for BBC Sport. That was because of the Bayer Leverkusen UK fan club. Okay, it wasn't me. They pulled that one in. But
it's still really
the producer of BBC Sport officially watched this podcast, so
it's true.
If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for you guys.
It's very true. And we'll be coming back in the new year with lots of
everything.
Of good stuff. Everything. And hopefully it'll improve.
It's nice to see as well that it's not just a podcast anymore. It's a thing. Yeah. What about our football game thing? Can we talk about that? When's that coming out? We haven't announced that we did that, have we?
No, but
that will be coming out. We can tell
that should
people.
be coming out soon at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did the football game code. We did an online quiz with a couple of other football teams, and spoiler alert, not bad. Here.
Pretty good.
Not
pretty
bad,
good. Very good fun.
Here, and I'm not just a pretty face either. There was a couple of rounds where I pulled my own weight as well.
He pulled the rabbit out of the hat a few times.
You got that to look forward to.
And also take a look at their game. Really cool.
It is, football game.
Really
but you guys, actually, if you're looking for a Christmas present, that is the one to get.
I think they're actually sold out now.
Oh, then. Sorry, guys, you're too late.
Which is very good for them, though. Because
you can get it in January then. Get it
really,
for next
really
Christmas.
Nice guys, and
they are.
The game is super cool.
Yes, we've got some exciting things coming up. Social media's going great.
Yes.
There might be some collaborations. There may or may not be some collaborations with other content creators or podcasts or things like that. But we'll not let the cat out of the bag just yet.
No, we'll keep our options open.
But I'll whet your appetite with it. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. That was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Football moments that changed our lives. Football moments that ruined our lives.
Oh, yeah.
A bit of everything.
Well, here's to hoping we get another one this year. I'm hoping for a big moment. It's been a while since I've had a big moment in football.
Yeah.
The last big moment, I suppose, was the heartbreak of the Euro final.
Yeah, that was just after the Champions League.
That was hard to take. So, I think I'm due a good moment now.
I think so too.
Like a big one.
So it could be Chelsea winning the cup, Leverkusen winning the league, and England winning the Euros. The perfect.
If that happens, man, I will call the BBC up to watch them. I will get them to come over just to film me throwing up. If my producer is listening now.
Oh man.
Right.
But yeah, good to be back. And yeah, thanks again for your support.
When are we putting this out? Are we putting this out before Christmas?
Yeah, I think in the next week.
Okay, well then have a great Christmas, everybody. Yeah. There we are. Enjoy the boxing.
We might have some mini episodes coming out over Christmas.
Oh, we will. Yeah, we'll have something for them.
But you can look forward to that over the Christmas and New Year period. And then, like I said, we'll be back fresh with new ideas, raring to go for the new year of the England B Team podcast.
Yeah, onwards and upwards here.
Of course, always.
Right, guys. Well, then is that it? Is there anything I have to get out of the way here?
No, I think we covered everything.
Superb.
I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the stories. Let us know as well in the comments.
Oh yeah, actually, I have to say before we go, guys, if you're if you're still listening, thank you. Wherever you're listening to it, like it, please. Subscribe, leave a comment,
share it with your friends.
Like, I know that sounds so bad to tell people, you're sick of hearing it, I'm sure, but the reason we're saying it is because it genuinely helps with the algorithm.
It makes a difference.
We don't want to we don't charge money or anything. Obviously, all our content is free, and we keep it free. So one way you can really support the podcast without having to spend any money is rate it, like it, and subscribe. That's it. It costs nothing, and
easy.
It's hugely appreciated.
And a little comment every now and then also
it really does. Yeah, it keeps the algorithm on our side because we're in a never-ending battle with this algorithm.
The algorithm is a pain in the
the proverbial
in the culo.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. He played for Middlesbrough, didn't he? Right. Anyway, we have to get out of here.
All right.
Cheerio, guys.
Ciao, guys. See you soon.